What's up? Welcome back to my channel, Detroit Poker. In this video, we're going to be talking about home games. This is a topic that comes up at poker tables on occasion, and I thought it was worthy of doing a video about it. Definitely have some good information for you, but before we get into that, I just want to remind you about my meetup game at MGM Grand in Detroit, Thursday, December 5th, 2019 at 7 p.m. I'd love to see you there. If you're definitely coming to the game, please call and pre-register. With that being said, let's get into the video about home games right now. So first and foremost, before we get into home games, I think it's important to mention when you go to play at a casino and you pay a rake, I think we should go over the reasons that we're paying the rake. So these are just my particular reasons. I'm sure I'll miss some reasons or whatever, but let's get into them. Number one reason that we pay a rake is for security, to make sure that we are playing in a secure environment and we don't have to worry about like getting robbed at the table or whatever. Number two reason, we want to make sure the game is legitimate, meaning that the dealers aren't fixing the deck and whatever, and there's floor personnel to make rulings and to make sure people aren't colluding at the table or marking cards or whatever. We pay a rake to make sure that this game is on the up and up and it's legitimate. Number three reason, in my opinion, that we pay a rake is for those shuffle machines that you see at the casino. They are not cheap, they're very expensive, and they're very complex. When your dealer pulls those cards out of the shuffle machine and cuts them onto a cut card and distributes them to the table, it's supposed to be random. They have RNG built inside, and that's the reason that we're paying a rake, to make sure that this deal is fair and everyone is getting cards distributed randomly. Another reason that we pay a rake is for bad beats and high hand bonuses and things like that. Promotions. A lot of casinos offer comps for you to play poker, and they offer food in the poker room, whatever. These are reasons you're paying the rake. This game is on the up and up once again. So now let's get into home games in general. So on occasion, you're going to get invited to a home game at a poker table. The first thing that I would like to caution you about is if there is a rake, beware. Why should you go to that home game that's raked when you can play at the casino and you know the shit's legit? So first question you should ask yourself is, why do they want me to come? Just ask yourself that question. Why do they want me to come to this home game? Do they think I'm a really good player and they want to play with me? Does this guy just like me so much that he wants my company? Like, what's the reason? What's the end goal that he wants me to come to the home game? It's money. They want you to come to the home game so they can make money. What things will they say to get you to come? People will be offering, like, we'll give you $50 on your stack if you come and buy in for $300. And they'll try to persuade you. Once again, ask yourself, why would this guy give me $50 to come to this game? How does that benefit him? You just really got to think about, why would someone do that? So I'm going to tell you why, in my opinion, I think they would do that. But before I even put this out there, I kind of want to put a disclaimer that I'm not going to say that every single home game that's raked is like sketchy and people are cheating and whatever, but we're just going to get into what goes on in these home games. And this is based on my personal experience. So there's a lot of cheating going on in these home games. Not all home games, but definitely, in my opinion, a fair amount of them. And the things that they're going to do to cheat you out of your money in a home game is, number one, I'm going to post a screenshot. Take a look at this. This is a special deck of cards that comes with sunglasses, all right? And you can look at the deck of cards with the sunglasses on, and it will display the rank of the card on the back of it. But only the person with the sunglasses can see the rank, okay? So what even enlightened me to these type of cards is, years ago, I'm talking 6 years ago, probably 7 years ago, I was invited to a home game from a person that I was playing with in a game at Snookers. Anybody from Detroit probably remembers Snookers. I go to this home game. I think I went to it twice. And the gentleman that was holding the game, he had sunglasses on the entire time, and he just seemed to always win. He seemed like he was a wizard, right? And I was already starting to grow a little bit suspicious of this guy, because the things that he was doing, like, even though like this was years ago and I was technically a fish at poker, maybe I'm still a fish, but whatever. I was a fish at poker then, but I could still recognize this guy is playing like fucking 95% of his hands, and he's like limping and calling with garbage and whatever. He calls raise with everything. Like, everything that he was doing was wrong. Like, what really did it for me is I remember the second time I was there, this guy made a hero call on the river when there was like a flush, a straight, all sorts of bullshit out there. He didn't have anything but king high, and he was wearing his stupid sunglasses. And this is not like a call for like $30. We were playing 1-2 deep stacked, and he made a call for bunches of fucking money, like $500-600 on the river, and he didn't even have a draw, in this hand. Like, he just had king high, and this guy made it to the fucking river with no draw, king high, and called down and was right. Okay, so like, that was it. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. I remember thinking in real time, like, dude, I got to get out of this fucking game. This guy is cheating. Like, I don't know how he's doing it, but like, I got to get out of this game. So, I kind of just bided my time for 45 minutes or whatever. I didn't want to like make it obvious that I knew what happened. And then, I just kind of like, I'm tired, I got to go. And then I cashed out. Never won in this home game, by the way, especially against that guy. Anyway, after I cashed out, I go home and I get on Google and, here's the marked cards with the sunglasses. And then it just hit me. Like, I'm just being cheated. I'm such an idiot. And I'm so gullible, like I just believe that people are good and whatever. Like, look out for these marked cards. There's a whole bunch of ways to mark cards. Even if you don't have the sunglasses and whatever, like, people will do things like you can leave the cards in the sun, like where the corner of a card is faded or whatever. Like, there's all sorts of ways that you can mark a deck where but no one else knows, and it's really slight. They also have these cards that like have the rank of the card built into the back of the card, and it's kind of like camouflage, like, but it's in there. If you know what to look for, it's there. There's a thing called daub, D-A-U-B. It's kind of like a chalky substance, like eyeshadow or something like that, and what the person will do is reach into their pocket and get some of this daub on their finger, and they'll wipe it on the back of the cards to mark like aces and kings and things like that. And then, like, if you kind of unfocus your eye and look at the card from across the table, you can see the daub clear as day. You don't even know like what you're getting yourself into when you go to a home game. So like, mark cards is one way that they'll cheat you. Another way is, I mentioned shuffle machines before, and they're not pulling cards out of a shuffle machine because a shuffle machine costs $10,000 plus. So like, you got to be aware of people that are hand shuffling at these home games because there's mechanics out there. They can fix the deck. People are pretty smart in general, and they can do anything they put their mind to. Believe me, there are people that can distribute cards in any way they want to any person at that table. Another thing that could be going on to cheat you out of your money is like code, that people could be talking in code. Like, there's going to be 3, 4, 5 guys probably at this home game that you've never met before, and it might seem like they're talking about mundane things, and it doesn't really concern you. They're talking in English, and you don't know what they're talking about or who they're talking about, but they will have a code where they speak in such a way that they're telling one another what their cards are, but they're using a code language to do it. And not to mention that I've seen people arrange their chips in such a way where like it indicates what cards they have. And once again, not in every home game, but you just really, really, really got to watch this stuff. So I would just never go to a home game ever if it's raked, and if it's for any sizable amount of money. Even if it's not raked, if you're playing for hundreds of dollars, I wouldn't go to a home game. So anyways, the last reason, and maybe I should have started with this reason, but even if they're not cheating, even if they're not marking cards, or there's no mechanics like setting the deck, or they're not like cheating, like it's a special language, or kicking each other under the table and they have aces, whatever. If there's none of that shit going on, and this is a simple reason, they think you're an idiot. They think you're a fish, like you're a mark. They think if I invite this guy to our home game, we're just going to beat this dude out of thousands of dollars. He sucks at poker, blah, blah, blah. And it can be very humbling to think that, right? I think a lot of people that play poker feel like they're better at poker than they really are. And, I was there. A lot of people go through this. Like, you think you got the game figured out, and really you're a fish, but you don't know it because of variance and short-term luck. I mean, even if they're not cheating you out of your money, they might just think you're an idiot, and that's why they want you to come to the home game. So, like, there's legitimately no good reason I could think of to present to you why you should go to a home game, with certain exceptions. There are a couple of people I will play home games with, but I know these people, so it's different. I just wanted to, put it out there, make a video about this. So I'd like to hear your comments about home games in general, about your experiences with home games, So don't forget about the meetup game, Thursday, December 5th, 2019 at 7 p.m. sharp at MGM Grand in Detroit. It's going to be a hoot and a half. Call and pre-register for the game if you're definitely coming. That'd be great, so we can make sure to have enough dealers and personnel and tables and whatever. If you like poker-related content and hand analysis and things like this, subscribe to the channel for more, and don't forget to click the bell and also mash that like button, guys. Take it easy. See you in the next video.